Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank the ONCE Foundation for organizing this conference and for giving us the opportunity of presenting Círculo de Salud Health Circles, which is financed by the Ministry of Industry and Commerce. And we have as partners Barcelona Centro Tecnológico and Institut Goodman. And after the introduction, I will be showing you some slides about this social work. I'll be speaking about interoperability, user work, and the future work that we have, that we're developing. Círculo de Salud means to facilitate integration in society of people who are socially excluded. It means to offer updated information on health to clinicians and other practitioners who need remote access to this information. And I think that this can be very helpful, for example, to implement the law on dependency. It means to reflect the complex and dynamic situation of people with a disability, taking on both the opinion of the users themselves and offer an integrating vision to provide support and services to contribute efficiently to increase and improve the life standard of life. This social network is for people with a disability and anyone who is linked to or interested in this, such as professionals, carers, entities, family members, etc. It offers three main functions. The first being an analysis of the disability. The second, the tailor-made access, as José Manuel was explaining, to information resources. And the third is supportive and social tools. All this knowledge can be transferred to other social networks and other applications on clinical history and the personal health record. Basically, we have focused around three pathologies: ictus, crânioencephalic traumatism, and we have used the international classification of the CIF, this functioning of this health condition. What is the CIF? The CIF is a holistic description of your health status, a biological, a psychological, and social description. It is structured around 4 chapters. The first is bodily structures, the second bodily functions, the third activities and participation, that's the social part, and the fourth environmental factors, which can be either barriers or facilitators, that is how the environment affects a person. And this taxonomical classification includes 1,400 categories, and the CAF is built around questionnaires filled out by the users, which are then translated to an international standard. For example, a questionnaire that we use in the social network is the measure of functional independence, so that each question in the questionnaire is translated into 1 or 2 concepts of the standard. Here, for example, you can see some examples of categories of bodily functions, so that you can see the screens, the different slides of this social network. You see the homepage here, where you can see the contents of the site, and from this homepage the user can register and create an account. First, you need to fill out your role in the social network: person with a disability, professional, or family member, or a friend, and then you can explain what kind of disability you have or lesion. Once that you introduce this information, you can have access to all of the contents in the social network. Here you can see the section about profiles, and here professionals, practitioners can request access to a community, and if the community administrator manager accepts him, then that practitioner will be able to manage users, for example, people and patients, and see how his patients evolve and introduce questionnaires. This is the social part, which is the wall, where you have social basic activities, the wall activities, the contacts, and here people management, the practitioners can add patients, and they can relate the identifier of the platform users with the identifier of the clinical record of the hospital, the user's hospital. As far as the analysis of the disability, we have scales, that is questionnaires, where you introduce the information, and then we have different graphs, which can be general, sort of town-related, or individual. The questionnaires are divided into questionnaires that the user can manage himself and questionnaires that are managed by the practitioners, and then a graphic and a report is generated. This is a graph based on the graphic of individual psychological well-being. We can see this at population level, individual level. With a star, you can see the information on the users, and in different colors, the well-being of the population, not of all the population. It depends according on the profile of the person. In this case, it is a person with a bone marrow lesion, and this is a status graphic. It is based on 3 years since the onset of the lesion, and we can see that in the category of pressure, most population have a slight deficiency, and the person here has a moderate deficiency. So it's a way of comparing, and so that you can see that in this case a person is faring a bit worse than the rest of the population. This is a graphic on the status, but it's not the scale or the score, but the international standard. When we introduce or erase a questionnaire, then it is automatically translated into an international standard. Here we can see different categories of the chapter of environmental factors, and if you enter or if you click on the link of one of these categories, and here if you click on a category, you can get more information, the information that the ONCE has for that category. And if you click on the link, you can see the progress in that category. Here we have bodily functions and the level of energy, and you can see how throughout time the efficiency is more distributed and then progresses towards a light deficiency. And in a star you can see the degree of efficiency in the user's case. And finally, this graph depicts the evolution, the individual evolution, and in this case the colors do not indicate the population related to a disability, but the degree of efficiency. Warm colors point out a more serious disability, and colder colors a lighter degree. Here, for example, this person has problems with mobility, serious problems, so it's in red. We also have a dynamic version of this graph where the user can decide what categories he wants to see.